Hello and welcome to Aptive's code productivity tool for carriers and data centers, which could also be used for VoIP service providers. Let me start with asking you this: what was the last time when you when you evaluated a time frame for like quoting 69 VRF circuits or 52 colo cabinets or 162 WAN circuits? So let's help you optimize your code turnaround time by way of productive application which is web based and internet driven. Okay, here we are. This is the home screen of the application. What we try to do over here is we could set up the pricing for the data centers which would be stored in the database of the application. You could set for your cabinet square footage per square footage, define your power values for the minimum sell price and the cost, put up your non-recurring costs, put up the cost for like the remote backup, the monthly recurring cost, the minimum sell price for non-recurring cost, and the minimum sell price for the MRC, right? Similarly, you could go ahead and set up for the line speed, where you could do like for 3 Mbps, what is your minimum sell price, what's the cost, for 50 Mbps, what's the minimum sell price and what's the cost, and you could fill up these values which are highly customizable. Key to note over here is like currently we have logged in as the administrator user or the big daddy of the application, who would then create different set of users who could be using the application. Now the different set of users would be the sales reps, direct and indirect sales reps, it could be your agents, and it could be other administrators. Let's go ahead and create a sales rep for now. Alright, so let's create John Mayer. Channel manager could be like Aptive for now. You could have address anything. City anything. Value. Could define set it up for a company. Could assign a sales rep ID if you wish to, or a system would pick up a default ID for them. Could set up a phone number, some information about the rep. And you set up a commission person for the sales rep, like what's the commission he is going to earn out of this sale. Let's say 12%. And let's create an account. Now the step 2 of creation of a sales rep would be like what's the markup percentage he would quote against the products or the services that he would sell. So let's assume for now like the markup is 10% for everything. 10% on WAN, 10% on Ethernet, 10% on wholesale IP, and 10% on MLPS. This is as far as the carriers go, this side of it. And here you could sell up like the markup percentage you would earn for a data center. You could set up different values over here. And similarly, you could continue as below and then hit set mark. So coming back to the system again, what you see on the home screen is the pricing setup. The pricing tool is the actual tool that would be used to quote to a customer, which consists of like internet access, WAN, MLPS, colocation, managed backup, on-net buildings, and wholesale IP. Logs would be the logs of the system that goes like the code summary logs. So administrator or line manager can see like what user log, what codes have been produced by what user. Like say I could say for John Mayer. And company is your current company which is being set up as like store carrier data. Okay, that's it. So let's log out and log in as John, that's a sales rep. Alright, so we have logged in as John now, who is going to use this application to produce different set of quotes to have a stickier customer or a quick turnaround time to quote to a customer. So let's start with like internet access. To show you a sample of how this would work, let me take a value of like 216.555.9090 and select like line size as 10 Mbps. Give a quote as one. Customer is like test cust, and let's calculate. So what the application does is like it goes and fetches the value, the table values from the back end, that's the data, applies some custom formulas and pricing methods, and then gets you a quote. So if you see over here, this is the customer information, like customer test cust, quote name, the date when the quote was produced, and here are the pricing details for 10 Mbps. The NPNXX would be 216.555. Your CLLI is CLBOH62. Your LATA is 320. Your NRC, that's a non-recurring cost, is like $1,200, and the floor price is like $362. Now you could export this as a spreadsheet, or you can create a new internet access code, or you could even use a button to send it a request to an engineer's review or a superior or a manager's review. So let's now go to the next menu, that's WAN, and how do you produce code for like VRF long haul. Let's take the same number that's in case and select Chicago as your data city, DS1 as a line size. Let's say calculate. There you go, bingo. You have initially you have the customer data over here, you have your data CLLI, that's a value which is picked from the database, and then here is carrier and the pricing details. It's like NPNXX, your CLLI, the exact mileage that's calculated between like 216.555.9090, which falls in the Cleveland area, your monthly recurring cost for 36 months, your non-recurring cost, and what's your floor price. The same way you go and do for MLPS. So our MLPS, let's for a change take like a different network. We select like 292, and we select Cleveland, and then we do select like 4.5 Mbps. You do have options if you want to add in a router, if a customer would like to have a router, which is going to be added cost to him, and then the COS. You could add up these options too, and then you hit to calculate. Okay, there you go, magic. Your NPNXX is 614.292, CLLI, CLMBOH11, your LATA, your loop MRC, your port charge, and what's your floor price. Now you could again like export this to a spreadsheet, give it to a customer, or like kind of send it for a review to a superior or a senior. Now let's see what happens if I export a spreadsheet. Alright, the data is stored, and I'm opening the spreadsheet now. I think it's system takes some time to open a spreadsheet. Meanwhile, let's go ahead with like a DC Colo and then see what happens over there when you want to code a system. Select your data city. These are the values from the database which are fetched up. Let's select Pittsburgh. Number of cabinets is 2. This is 1. This is 2. Enter any values 3. Select your line size 10 Mbps. Redundant AB feed. Yes. Hit a calculate, and then boom. You have values which are stored against the CLLI in the database against these row records which are fetched and then displayed as a floor price, and instantly you go and quote for a floor price to a customer. Similarly, things apply for a DC managed backup. where I could select like what should be city, it's Boston, total volume in each week 100 GB, retention period 4 weeks, suggested bandwidth is 10 Mbps, number of SQL servers is 2, number of Exchange servers is 3, number of other servers is like 5, add offsite backup yes, which goes for an additional cost, and then you calculate and then you go ahead and go to a customer. This is your floor price which is calculated, go to a customer. Now this is a non-recurring cost, I'm sorry, and the floor price is over here. The key to understand over here is like this helps to free up the time of your sales rep in trying to define and derive complex price quotes by way of computing NPNXX, RBOXs, and IOC validations. So using this tool, he would have more free time at hand to do what he's supposed to do, that's sell to customers. Okay, the next is wholesale IP. Wholesale IP allows the reps to look for IP vendors for a given city and state. Wholesale IP allows him to find wholesale IP vendors for city and state. Let's select California. This is an Ajax drop down. Select San Diego. Okay, alright. And let's select the line size of OC12 and say calculate. Alright, there you go. Your wholesale IP. Oh, the spreadsheet is opening now. The wholesale IP vendor for this particular location for a line size OC2 is like Global Crossing, which is a data dump available in the database, and this is the address. The floor price of an wholesale IP is this. Alright, so that's it. What we tried to do was try to optimize the sales reps and then the executive's time to spend more in like finding a prospect and a lead and convert him to a customer or engage a customer better than spending time in generating for quotes. Now let's go for logs. So if you see the log for the user, you would have produced log for like your WAN, your internet access, your VRF, your managed backup, colocation. So this is the logs for the personal customer. You could have an option to search the logs based on dates, based on quote, some values. Now let's see what happens if a line manager is supposed to access and see what's happening with the sales rep. So I log in as the administrator and I come to like logs. Alright, bingo, there I see. My sales rep John Mayer has quoted these products against this price to this particular customer on these dates. So if I were to take details of a particular quote, I could just click on the quote and then I get all the info. Or if I want to see what's the price he quoted for a colocation, I just click on the colocation quote of that user and I get to know what he's quoted. So this way there is a cohesiveness in terms of talking the same price to the customer across different sales reps. Alright, so coming back to the point, what this application does for you is it basically decreases the time taken to quote a customer, increase the number of quotes by way of increased sales. This is done based on like a rep's time is freed up for selling, and also ensure that the correct margins are being quoted across the company by different set of sales reps. Alright, that's more of it, and let us know if you'd like to have a demo version of this. Thank you.